Hi, I'm Bob Trask. This is your weekly reset video. This is where we come together to make sure that every week is better than the week before. How? Not because we have more or do more, but because we are more. We become more conscious, more awake of the power within us that is grace, that is love, that creates our lives, that makes our lives better every week. So that's what we're doing here. And thank you for being a part of it. This week, in fact, this month, our weekly reset theme is overcoming obstacles to joy. Overcoming obstacles to joy. Now, why is that important? Why would it be so important to overcome the obstacles to joy? Because joy is grace. Joy is the power within us. Joy, which the great philosopher said, joy is the only evidence of God. That was Teilhard de Chardin. Joy is the only evidence of God. So people are looking for God. People say, I wished I had a sign so I'd know that God is there. Joy is the only evidence of God because joy is the presence of Holy Spirit, it's the presence of everything that moves in the universe. So we're going to discover 13 keys to a joy-filled life and let them uplift us. You could probably write them down as we go along because some of them we're going to talk about today. So let's disarm those triggers that nudge us out of joy. And let's make joy the state of our hearts, the state of our beingness. And today's subject is surrender sets us free. That's one of the keys. Surrender. Surrender. In his wonderful book, Scott Peck, in this very first sentence, it says, life is difficult. I have said to countless audiences, I love Scott Peck's book because his first sentence in it is, life is difficult. And you'd be surprised how many people disagree with that. They're angry about that. They don't like to hear that. And there's one of two reasons. Either they're so far advanced that they already know the rest of the story behind life is difficult, or they don't want to look at life at all. But in his wonderful book, The Road Less Traveled, he said, life is difficult. This is a great truth, one of the greatest truths. It's a great truth because once we see this truth, we transcend it. This is so important that we hear this today. Once we see the truth that life is difficult, see it, we transcend it. Once we truly know that life is difficult, then life is no longer difficult. Because once it's accepted, once we accept it, the fact that life is difficult no longer matters. But I can't help but liken this to a soccer game. I don't know if you watch soccer or if you're interested in soccer. I certainly never was. My whole life I did, basketball, football, baseball, but soccer, that was some kind of a foreign thing. And then my daughter started playing soccer. And so I was going to her, not only soccer games, but her soccer practices. And I was learning about soccer. And I saw my dear Chauncey, my daughter taught me so many things. And one day we had a soccer game, and it was in the winter, of course, and it was half snowing and half raining, and this was in a higher elevation, and we were going to play a school, or we were going to play a team that was number one in the league. Number one. They had never lost a game. So we went there, and it was snowing and raining, and the field was muddy, and the girls were getting ready to go out and play. And I said to one of them, do you really want to play this game in this? Because we could forfeit the game. They went like, are you crazy? We want to play. Life is difficult. That game that day was difficult. They knew they were probably, very probably, going to get beat. It was muddy and rainy and cold and miserable, and they couldn't wait to get on the field. They accepted that it was going to be difficult. They accepted that it was going to be really difficult, but they wanted to play. I'm saying to you, your dreams, that which you want, might seem difficult. I'm right now, I'm challenged. My book, Up She Falls, it took like 3 years or more for me to write that book. Wrote it and rewrote it and rewrote it. I had to get into the person, into the being of a woman to write that. I couldn't write it from my masculine mind. I had to be in a woman's mind because it's first person woman story. Then I finally got it finished and if I got it edited and now it's probably printed and it's a beautiful, beautiful book, physically beautiful, and it's powerful. I mean, people go online and look at the comments that I've got on on Amazon. People love the book, but you know what? It's not selling. It's not selling. And so what I need to do is make that book get into a viral state. That means marketing. I don't know how to market. I don't know how to market that book. That this is difficult. This is really difficult because I don't know how to play this game. You know, I could come to the soccer game and people say, "Here, get on the field and play." Well, I don't know how to play the game. I don't know how to market this book. So I'm doing exactly what I'm asking you to do. I'm up against my dream. I want this book to be a top seller. I want tens of thousands of people to read this book and be changed by it. There's a sequel already being written. I'm so excited about it. But marketing the book, to market it, that's I've never done that before. So I have to now face that. So difficult doesn't mean that my dreams are impossible or not even improbable, because they are possible and they are probable. And I wouldn't even be dreaming it. You wouldn't be dreaming your dreams if they weren't possible, because it's going to be difficult, yes, but anything in life, anything that is worth doing requires that we face difficulty. And that means that we require that we face the word change. Oh boy, there's the big word. There's the big word. Change what? Boy, we have to change. I can't get from here to there. I have to be there. That's in my mind. And my mind has to be there. So when I say change, what I have to do is change my mind. Not what I think, but how I think. Not what I think about marketing, but how I think about marketing. And I'm asking you right now to look at your dreams. I know some of them may have gotten buried because they just seemed impossible and you finally gave up on them. Or you never even followed them because they seemed so impossible. Don't give up. That's why we're here. That's our purpose for being here. It's our purpose of being on this planet in these bodies at this time is to make this happen. And on the following the path of our dreams, you know what? When you attain your dream, whatever that is, I promise you it's going to be so what? It's if no matter what, how beautiful and spectacular that dream is, once you get the dream, then it's inside of you and you have it. And yes, you appreciate it. And yes, you're grateful for it, but it's no longer as thrilling as it was when you had it in your mind going after it. So now you're after a different dream, something higher, something more. It's not the dream that's important, it's the path. The path changes us. The path makes us who we came here to be. That's what the path does. But you can't get on the path unless you go after your dream. And you can't go after your dream unless you believe it's possible, unless you believe it's probable. So we have to become humble, not humiliated, but humble. Rumi said, be crumbled. He said, be crumbled so wildflowers will come up where you are. Think of that for a moment. Be crumbled so that you release the reality of life to come alive in you. Be crumbled so wildflowers will come up where you are, he said. You have been stony for too many years. Stony for too many years. Try something different, he said. Surrender. Try something different. Surrender. Surrender. My friend, unless you're very different from all the rest of it, you have got dreams. And you may not believe that you have the talent or the energy to fulfill those dreams. And that loss of self-confidence pulls you down. That loss of self-confidence pulls you down. You don't think you can, so you don't try. Oh, that would be good. Oh, that would be nice. But oh my goodness. I mean, I would like to have that amount of money in the bank so that I could have the freedom to travel and to do what I want to do. But that just isn't possible for me right now. So something dreadful happens when we don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe we have the talent or the energy to fulfill our lives and to fulfill our dreams. And that loss of self-confidence not only pulls it down, it pulls us down, it affects all the other parts of our lives. Doesn't it? Think about that for a minute with me. It affects our confidence. It affects our relationships. It affects our health. It accepts our creative ability. So today we're looking at what John Denver called sweet, sweet surrender. Live without care, like a fish in the water, like a bird in the air. Like a fish in the water, like a bird in the air. They fulfill their dreams and they don't ever think about it because they're flowing with nature. They're flowing with Holy Spirit. They're already there. And we get in our way. We have dreams, but the dreams ask us to change who we are, to dare to be bigger, to dare to be more, to dare to accomplish, to dare to follow their dreams. As Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss. We just dare to do that because there's a river flowing through us, isn't there? There's a river flowing through here. Here it comes. It's flowing through us. It's the river of grace. It's the river of truth. It's the river of life. It's intelligent energy. Think of that for a moment with me. Intelligent energy means it's a presence. It means that somebody's there. It's intelligent energy, and it's flowing into you. And it only flows through the eyes of those who use it. It only flows through the lives of those who are using it. Otherwise, otherwise we become like a hose that's supposed to water the garden. But once it's full of water, it stops. It says, no, God, this is my water. I'm holding on to it. And then it no longer has any value. It's got to go forward. We've got to move forward. It's got to come out of us. It's got to move. It's pure intelligent energy that's available for each one of us. That we have to stop trying. Yes, I said stop trying. Your trying is getting in the way. We have to surrender to the river that flows naturally through us and empowers us. Robert Adams, great thinker, great author, said, I want to rethink surrender as an active verb. There's something within you that knows what to do. There's a power greater than you that knows how to take care of you without your help. There's a power greater than you that knows how to take care of you without your help. All you've got to do is surrender to it. Surrender your thoughts, your mind, your ego. Surrender to the current that knows the way. It'll take care of you. It'll take better care of you than you can ever imagine. We spend far too much time trying to figure out what to do, trying to figure out how things work, trying to figure out what our next step is, trying to figure out how we need to just do it. That's the Nike logo, right? I love it. Just do it. Take a look around. The living universe around us, it has a pattern, doesn't it? It is a pattern. The waves come in on the shore and they recede. They come back. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. The ocean follows a pattern. The tides swell and the tides recede. It's a pattern. Everything has a pattern. Trees, flowers, weeds, everything. The air, birds swimming through the sky. Uh, Everything has a pattern, a natural pattern. It has a definite way of working. And you and I, we've tried to fulfill our dreams, but then as we've tried to fulfill our dreams, people have gotten in the way, haven't they? They've denied us the ability, our right to do what we want to do. They've maybe even sabotaged our efforts. They had the power to stop us, didn't they? It seems. But let me ask you, is their power greater than the intelligent living pattern, the intelligent living being of the universe? Don't we need to stop and step back and ask ourselves, why am I not seeing here? Because I'm in the way. Please don't discount this. What I want, my life's work, my goal, is for you to fulfill your life while you're on this planet. You have within you marvelous, marvelous capabilities, but you don't know those until you try. When you and I were little babies with our little diapered butts, just learning how to walk, we fell like 17 times an hour. Boom, boom, boom on our little butts. We didn't ever say, I give up. We didn't ever say that. And you know why? Do you know why? Because we were filled with grace. We were flowing with the river. We were like the birds of the air and the fish of the sea. We didn't know we could fail. And we could fall, 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 fall. Didn't matter if we fell. Just didn't matter. We were right back up and going again. That's what our life has to be like now. When we fail, it has to have no more importance than when we fell when we were little babies. So today we're discovering the way to our dreams. And the way to our dreams is surrender. I know that for a lot of people, that sounds like giving up. Sounds like admitting I just can't do it, so I have to just surrender like there's some kind of hokey pokey power that's going to come and save me if I just give up. I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm saying move. I'm saying, I'm saying let's get our butts moving forward toward what we want to accomplish. Let's go for it. You know, I have to tell you, today is Mary's birthday, my wife's birthday. So yesterday, um, my brother-in-law and I, as is our tradition, we made her birthday cake from scratch. Was really it was really interesting. We've made birthday cakes in the past that look like hamburgers. I mean, we've had some pretty interesting cakes. But yesterday we started it on this recipe, difficult recipe. We'd never done it before, but we went forward and we were laughing and we were screwing up and we were doing this and doing that and didn't do this on time. That didn't go where it was supposed to be. And the cake was supposed to cook for 35 minutes, but we still had it in there at 45 minutes. I mean, but we did our best and we just kept moving forward and we've got a cake and I think it looks beautiful. So surrender's not giving up. It's quite the opposite. Surrender is a healthy, positive state that we have when we were babies. It doesn't mean being hopeless and giving up. It's quite the contrary. Surrender is living in the flow of intelligent energy. That's your birthright. That's your birthright. I know we went to We were doing just fine until we went to school. When we went to school, the very first thing that we learned is that we were wrong. That you're goofing up. No, this is wrong. You get a D, or you get a C minus, or you even get an F, or you get an A. And all of those tell you whether or not you matter. So if you take this arithmetic test on addition and subtraction, and you miss a bunch of them, and so she gives you a D or a D minus, what the hell does that mean? That you're a D? That you're a D? Because that's what we learned. And we learned how well we did in school was a measure of who we were. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. Some of the most successful people in the world are people who dropped out of school. And you drop out of school, or a tornado comes and takes everything you own in your house away, and your spouse suddenly dies, or your life just crumbles, and it's all over, and you're done. Marianne Williamson said it so perfectly about surrender. She said, something very beautiful happens to people when their world has fallen apart. A humility, a nobility, a higher intelligence emerges just at the point when our knees hit the floor. A higher intelligence emerges at the point where our knees hit the floor. In other words, where we finally say, I give up. I surrender. I'm going to stop trying. I'm not over. I'm not done. I'm still in the game, but I've realized I can't do it alone. I have to have help. So we have to dare to fail. And we have to go forward with a new idea, with a new direction, and then maybe fail again, and maybe fail again. Thomas Edison is no doubt the most famous failure ever. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times trying to make a light bulb work. You know what? He had a little cot. He had a little cot in his laboratory. And every little while, he'd go over and lay down to take a nap. And when he did, he'd put a ball in each hand, and then he'd lay down to take a nap. And just as he fell deep asleep, he'd open his hands, and the balls would fall, and it would wake him up. And he'd immediately go back to work in the lab, because then he could remember the messages of the universal mind that was speaking to him. He knew his trying and efforting were in fact not the path, but they were in the way. But surrender was the path. So the lights that you have on in your room, the light bulbs, all of that came about because somebody had the ability to surrender, to let go, to tap into that great, powerful river that's flowing through us. But we have to get our egos out of the way. We have to stop saying, I'll do it. I'll make it work. I'm in charge here. I'm not in charge here. I'm the vehicle of Holy Spirit going through my life so that Holy Spirit can express itself through me. That's what I am. And every time I try to drive myself, I just screw up. I get off the road and it just makes a mess of things. So Great Spirit has not gone away. Great Spirit is here right now creating our bodies. We're getting rid of billions and billions and billions and billions of cells every day, and they're being replaced by new cells. And if you have the right attitude, they're more robust than the cells that just went away. But you have to be able to be filled with that Spirit. So it's daily creating every part of us, and it hasn't gone away. It's right here, right now, filling you with clarity, filling you with courage, filling you with confidence, the confidence to realize your dreams. And once again, it isn't the dream that's important, it's the path. Get on the path. We have to be conscious of the here and now. We can't be dwelling in the future. Dwelling in the future is all about fear. Do you know something? Fear stops us, but we have no fear of the present. The present is not fearful. It's the forward that's fearful. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what might happen. Step into the darkness and bring the light with you. The light of Holy Spirit. Because the future's not yet created, is it? And when it is created, it'll be created from the now, from the right now. So when right now, are my thoughts positive? Am I saying that I don't need to know, I don't need to understand all the steps? I just need to get myself moving? Because the most difficult part for any of us is to let go of our fears and our needs to control that we think is keeping us safe. But it's not keeping us safe. It's keeping us stuck. And we're not supposed to be stuck. We're supposed to be growing and flowing. We're not supposed to be watching the dance. We're supposed to be out on the floor dancing. That spiritual dimension of life and wisdom can be ours if we just let go. Our great teacher Eckhart Tolle said, "Not until you surrender does the spiritual dimension become a living reality in your life." Not until you surrender does the spiritual dimension become a living reality in your life. Surrender and living in the present are one and the same thing. Surrender and living in the present. So where am I right now? Am I right now living in this presence? Because if I am, then I'm surrendered. If I am, then I'm surrendered. What do we have to do to surrender? You know, if I think about myself in the ocean, because the ocean is just this wonderful metaphor for me, and it's also a great, I just love the ocean. It's a great being. And I think of myself, if I'm a drop going into the ocean, and the ocean is now Holy Spirit, it's the eternal presence of all universes and all times, and it's the intelligent energy, it's the beingness of life. And I am a drop, and I drop myself into that. Then I become the ocean. I don't become greater than the ocean. I just become the ocean. So then that's surrendering. That's letting go and letting myself being a, a, a part of the ocean of spirit. Stop trying to be so important, I say to myself. It's a surrendering of my conditioning, of my ego, and of the artificial barriers that I've built around me. So today could be the first step of the first day of our lives. If we're willing to just step back a pace and ask what we truly want and whether in order to attain it, we're ready to let go of our control and breathe in the wisdom and joy of Great Spirit. And so let's face it, what other choices do we have? I want to tell you that our 7-week class, You Are Eternal, starts on Thursday, September 5th. Boy, this promises to be deeply, deeply rewarding for those of us who are seeking illumination on this life and on the next life and on the purposes and what that transition is like. This excellent book we'll be studying is called After. That's the name of the book, After, by Dr. Bruce Grayson. It's a fascinating and fun read, and it's an in-depth study of thousands and thousands of near-death experiences seen through the eyes of Dr. Grayson, both as a scientist and as a man of spirit, as a spiritual man. So if you've been fascinated by the subject of near-death experiences, or if you've had a near-death experiences, and or if you've had some anxiety about your own transition, I can tell you that after 50 years of doing classes, 50 years of doing classes and seminars for hundreds of thousands of people in countries around the world, this promises to be one of the most exciting and thought-provoking classes ever. So it's going to start. It'll be at 11:30 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon on Thursdays, September 5th through October 17th, 7 weeks, one day a week. And it's $200 US or Canadian. Just email me, bobtrask.com. Oh, email me at arasbob, A-R-A-S, bob at comcast.net. arasbob at comcast.net. And you can get the Zoom link and get signed up and be a part of this incredible experience. Now, thank you for being with me today. I think we've had a good inspiration about what we have to do in order to just start moving. Just let go. Just feel that blessed energy moving through you, and allow it to guide you, and allow it to empower you. Thank you. Stop by bobtrask.com, would you, and leave a donation to help me increase this work and keep this work going on. Thank you. Thanks for being with me. I'll see you next week. Until then, be well